Joel and I'm from TechCrunch. I'm here with some really special guests who are participating in an auction for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. I have David Lee, co-founder and managing partner at SV Angel, you can see here. But the man of the hour is the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society Boy of the Year, Man of the Year, Rhett. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
How are you? How old are you?
5.
5? Are you used to being interviewed like second on stage? It's usually like all focused on you.
No,
so.
all the time.
So can you tell me a little bit about how you got involved in this? You've done it for a couple of years. You did one last year and it raised, I think, like $14,000 or something like that?
Yeah, it was a pretty easy decision for me. I'm actually a lymphoma survivor. Mm-hmm. I met Christina and some of the other folks on the team here, and through that I was able to get involved. It's a great organization for a great cause. There are a lot of people who suffer from this disease, a lot of children, and thankfully through their efforts, through others' efforts, it's much more, the outlook and the prognosis is much better than it was, when I had it 20 years ago.
Right. And there's a lot of other people involved too. Megan Quinn from Kleiner Perkins, Tim Draper. So a lot of you are working together to try to raise as much funds as possible. And I think Mobilize for the Cure has raised $200,000 since 2010. And we'll get into how that actually helps people out. But how does your personal experience with lymphoma, how does that change how you do your job or your outlook on things? Do you get to step back and go, wow, I'm actually really lucky to do what I do? And
yeah, I think for sure, I think it's a process, and it's, there are days when you feel like that, and there are days when you just feel like it's your normal job. But for sure, it gives you and your loved ones a different outlook on life.
Right.
And it's awesome that other investors are doing the same thing of, donating their time and their energy to something like this.
Because usually people are in the room with you, entrepreneurs hoping that you'll change their lives with some investment or some support. And here's this guy, the man of the year, and he's directly benefiting. So you're going to do a dinner. I think right now, and we're going to blow this out of the park though, but you're at like $9,000 for your auction. It ends June 11th. Mm-hmm. So we're going to put everything we have behind it to just surpass what you did last year. But Rhett, can you tell me a little bit about yourself? I hear you're dealing with some bad guys. We don't like bad guys here. No. So what can we do can you tell us about yourself? And maybe I hear you have a really cool sister and a mom and a dad. So maybe tell us a little bit about that.
My name is Rhett. My sister's name is Antley. I am Leukemia Society Boy of the Year. Leukemia is cancer in my blood. Cancer cells are the bad guy. I take chemo to get the bad guys out. Thank you for helping. Thank you for raising money to get that bad guys out of my blood. My name is Rhett, and I give a damn.
Well then, that was awesome.
Give me one of these.
Yeah, some fist pounds. So as we know, like you like the Giants, right? When you were in the hospital dealing with some bad guys, some Giants came out to hang out with you, and that's because they were totally jealous, because being Boy of the Year is way cooler than winning the World Series. They were totally jealous. Like, you know that, right? Yeah. You did a video to help these guys raise money. How was that? It's got like a bunch of views. You're famous, you know that, right? No? You speak more languages than I do. What languages do you speak?
Spanish and English.
Spanish and English? Can you say something in Spanish? Just anything you want.
Hola.
Hola. I didn't even know. I have no idea what that means. What does hola mean?
Hello.
Oh, okay. Very good. So I mean, I think when we hang out with like Rhett, that's like that brings us to life, and it's a reminder. I know people might donate, or they might participate in the auction to get in front of you and maybe pitch you and help their company out. But I think when you see where the money goes, that's the magical part. And I know you're a busy guy, and you're the busiest guy of all of us. You're the most important person here. It's great that you actually take some time to donate, and time is money in your business. But what was it like last year? What did you do last year? I heard you had the whole team involved.
Yeah, I mean, for us it's an hour or 2 hours, and what Rhett and others have to do, you can't compare the two.
No.
So last year we had an event and we had a game where we had my partners were gracious enough where we had people come in and have a ball game with us, and just spend time with them, and we raised a good deal of money and towards this cause.
Okay.
And so this year we're going to do something similar where I will sort of hang out, and something very similar to what the other investors are doing.
Right. You're awesome. You're awesome too, David. Thank you so much.
My name is Rhett. I am Leukemia Society Boy of the Year. Cancer cells are the bad guys. I take chemo to get the bad guys out. Mr. VC, will you please participate in the extron? Thank you for raising money to help get the bad guys out of my blood. My name is Rhett, and I give a damn!
I'm here with Michelle Flatley, who is the Director of Special Events at the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. And we're going to talk a little bit about, usually the number one question I get asked when raising money is, where does it go? So for things like this, I mean, these folks have raised over $200,000 in the past couple of years doing these lunches and dinners. What does that go to?
So 78% of funds go directly back to our mission, and that breaks out into 4 main categories, one of which is research, education, patient services, and a new area of focus for LLS is advocacy, so lobbying on Capitol Hill.
Sure, the necessary evils, of course.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Can you talk a little bit about the patient services? Like, what do you guys do for somebody like Rhett and his family? Because it's not all about research and kind of the medication. It's like going through it.
Absolutely. So I've been a nonprofit for 8 years, and why I feel proud to work for LLS is because LLS doesn't just talk the talk, we walk the walk, and I have seen that firsthand on multiple levels, and putting real resources in patients' hands at an incredible time of need, and being able to see that happen is really incredible. One of the programs I think that I would say that I'm most proud of within the Patient Services Department is our First Connections program. And what that does is that connects people, almost like a mentor, someone who has a similar diagnosis, similar age, similar story, and connecting them, and really having that one-on-one dialogue with someone who's been through it and can really help answer some of those questions that you might not want to ask your doctors or might not be applicable. So,
and the worst feeling you can have is feeling alone.
Exactly.
So you guys are surrounding people with stuff.
The great thing is not only does LLS on the patient services side, they provide emotional support, financial support, and education, which is so important for patients when you're newly diagnosed and there are just so many things coming at you, and it's so important to have
more than just pamphlets and all that kind of stuff and t-shirts. It's like, no, this is what you need.
Absolutely.
So how does Rhett win a Boy of the Year? What's that program like?
Yeah, absolutely. So Man and Woman of the Year is a 10-week fundraising competition, and we recruit top talent individuals from the Bay Area to fundraise, and it's really, really important to focus on the mission and have the candidates understand that this is about real people, what they're fundraising for. And so the Boy and Girl of the Year are really the inspiration of this campaign. So they're local blood cancer survivors who were chosen for their resilience, their spirit, and they really become the heart and soul of this campaign.
Speaking multiple languages.
Exactly. It's like a college resume, right? I'm kidding.
This guy's awesome.
So Rhett Krawitt and Sarah Banholz are our Boy and Girl of the Year this year, and they've been wonderful. They come to our kickoff events, our midpoint events, and speak. They write emails to candidates. They send videos. One really cool thing Sarah did this year was she created these piggy banks out of soda liter bottles and made them into piggy banks and put the Some Days Today mission on it, and donated $1 to every candidate and gave it to them at kickoff as a way to kick off their campaign. So these kids are fantastic.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
That's
so
brilliant.
we just actually did an art project with all of our candidates and the Boy and Girl of the Year this past week, and we're going to create it into a piece that we're going to auction off at the grand finale event.
Brilliant. How can people help? I mean, obviously it'd be great for people to, participate in an auction for Time with David and the other VCs.
Absolutely.
It might be a little bit pricey for some people, but I mean, how can they help? I mean,
Absolutely. So the great news about LLS is we have a variety of different campaigns. So Man, Woman of the Year obviously is an opportunity to get involved in a lot of different kinds of
volunteer
events.
Opportunities?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. So through patient services, there are a ton of different volunteer opportunities to serve if you're a survivor as potentially a First Connections volunteer, and even if you're not, at some of our education forums and whatnot. But there are also other campaigns too.
We'll share all the links with everybody. And hopefully they can help them out. And I mean, even if you don't have the money to bid on David's auction or some of the other VCs, you should definitely get involved and and be inspired by people like Rhett.